Hello dear, welcome once again. In this video, I am going to explain you the contents of Sonnet 116 written by William Shakespeare. This is among 154 sonnets that he has written, and most of them are on love. Here in this sonnet, he has tried to give the characteristics of true love. He has differentiated between the false love and the true love here, because maybe that the general perception of the people in the society is that love for them is only a relation of a male and the female on the basis of lust or physical attraction, that normally people call it as love. But here he says that is not love. He says that is only a lust, or sometimes it is only infatuation. I think Shakespeare has felt to give the clear picture of what is a true love. So to prove his point, he has given the characteristics of true love, what it is and what it is not. By differentiating that, he has made it very clear about the true love. Now let me explain you. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Admitting impediments means allowing any obstacles. So he doesn't want either he or somebody else should become the obstacle in between the two people who have united by the emotions of love. Now he calls it as a marriage of minds. Not simply, if we say marriage, it is taken to be marriage of a male and a female, or a union of a male and a female. But here he goes beyond that. He gives a very high regards to the institution called marriage. That's why he says marriage of minds, that is emotionally connected people. So here he is clear that it is not mandatory that it should be a male and a female. He only says minds. So there is a clear indication here that the love could be between a male and a male and a female and a female. The love is not restricted to only a relation with the male and a female. That's very clear here. And he begins with a negation, affirming with a negation. He doesn't want to admit any impediments. He doesn't want to be a cause of obstacle between two people, those who are united emotionally, which alters when the alteration finds. What we regard as a love, if it changes when it finds any alternative. That means now, let's say you are in love with someone, and again you find somebody else very attractive. That means it is an alternative. So when you get an alternative and when you leave the first one, and that cannot be called as love. In both cases, it is a false love. Or bends with the remover to remove. Who is the remover here? There is somebody who doesn't like these two people should be united. So he wants to remove this, or he wants to break the bond between these two people. He is a remover. So when there is a force, if somebody withdraws the love due to fear, and then he says this cannot be a true love. So if it is to be a true love, even if there is any danger, then it has to stand firm. Then only it can be true love. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on the tempest and is never shaken. Now he is giving an example how strong it should be. Now he gives an example of a lighthouse which is fixed at the harbors. It is very strong one. We do not know how many times it has braved the strong tempests, but still it is unshaken. So he says that you face the dangers, but still, if you can withstand all those things, brave those all those things, and be bold about it, and firm on your love, then it can be called as true love. It is the star to every wandering bark. The next example he gives, the ships moving in the sea. In night time, they used to follow the star. That is a pole star. We call it as a pole star. This pole star is fixed. Therefore, he says it should be fixed like that. That means there should not be any wavering. It should not waver. If it wavers, then it is not a true love. Whose worth is unknown, although his height be taken. Whose worth is unknown means we do not know the value of this star. But at least we know that it is there at some height, or we can measure the height, or we can simply say that here we can have the high regards for this star. Love is not time's fool. In those days, the kings and the lords used to have a joker. He used to be called as a jester for providing some entertainment to the lords. Here, Shakespeare compares time to lords, and the jester used to do whatever his master wanted. That means his actions depended on the master. So he was under the control of the master. Those rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come. Here he personifies time. Time is regarded as a person having sickle in his hand. So when he takes the sickle to cut the vegetation or cut the grass, you can say, when he moves his hand like this, it becomes a circle, isn't so? At least semicircle. So you can make this as a compass. That's what he calls it as a compass. But whatever comes in that ambit, in that area, it is all cut like that. When time does like this, it cuts everything. That means it has an influence on physical objects. See, we age, whatever we were some 10 years, 20 years hence, we are not like that. We have changed. Who has changed this? Time only has changed. That means time has an influence over all the things on the earth. True love is not in the ambit of this time. That means it doesn't come under its influence because it is not physical, it is emotional. Now, rosy lips and rosy cheeks. It is when a girl is very young, very attractive. That time the cheeks and the lips are very rosy. But as the time progresses, when she becomes old, that time it is not same. The cheeks wrinkle and the lips become pale. Time has the ability to transform us like this. Because of the influence of time, this has happened. But he says this won't happen with the true love, because true love is beyond the reach of time, beyond the influence of time. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. brief means very small, short. These short things like hours and weeks and maybe months, years, they can't do anything to the true love. But bears it out even to the edge of the doom. Doom means the last day, our death. So bears it out means it holds. So this is there in a person till the end of his life. So if there is a feeling of love for someone, and if it is maintained throughout the life till the last breath, this can be called as true love. If this be error and upon me proved, in the last two lines we call it as a couplet. In that couplet he gives a very strong message, not only a strong message but a challenge to the people. It shows the level of confidence what Shakespeare had. See what he says. If this be error, if you think that this is wrong what I am telling, and upon me proved, and if you can prove this, that whatever I have told is wrong, I never write. He tells that he is going to stop writing if he is proved wrong. That means he knows that nobody can prove that it is wrong, and he is going to continue writing. This he has told only to emphasize that he is right. Nor no man ever loved. And this also means that if somebody says that it is wrong, it is as good as telling that so far nobody has loved anybody. So to say, people have loved, and there were true love, false love, all types of loves were there. And therefore, whatever he has told about the true love is 100% true. Now let me take up little more about this sonnet. You can call this as analysis. The genre of this sonnet is Shakespearean sonnet, or it can also be called as Elizabethan sonnet. Here it has 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. The total lines are 40. Therefore, the genre we call this as a sonnet. When we analyze this poem, we come to know many specialities, good aspects in this sonnet. Shakespeare begins with a negative sentence, that is, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments, he says. And here he says me, but it applies to all. That means it should be us. Let us not give any obstacles where two minds are united. So if it is a true love, nobody should do any harm to that couple. When you go through Shakespeare's life, his married life was not good. Anna Hathaway was not very much emotionally connected to Shakespeare. But the Earl of Southampton was a very close friend. They were almost like a gaze. Therefore, it was talked upon that here he is writing keeping that in mind. That means their close friendship was a union of two minds. So he calls this as a true love. Therefore, those who talked about this relationship as illegitimate, for them this was a reply, I think. So here there is an indication that nobody should become an obstacle between the true lovers. Now I hope that you have understood the whole content, but after understanding you need very good language, a terse language, and impressive language for writing in the examination. So I am going to give you the summary of this sonnet in the next video. So if you are satisfied with this explanation, you can share it with your friends and you can like the video. Thank you. Jai Hind.